I will discuss the long-term therapy mode.
I will discuss the crisis case handling mode.
The following information was contrasted by the author of the textbook. He used Gilliland-James model of crisis intervention with Thorne's principles, objectives, client functioning, and assessment in case handling. Diagnosis. In the long-term therapy mode, you have a complete diagnostic evaluation.
In the crisis case handling mode, there is rapid triage crisis assessment.
In the long-term therapy mode, treatment focuses on basic underlying causes and on the whole person.
In the crisis case handling mode, treatment focuses on the immediate, traumatized component of the person.
In long-term therapy, the plan is to have a personalized comprehensive prescription directed toward fulfilling long-term needs.
In crisis case handling, the plan is to have an individual problem-specific prescription focused on immediate needs to alleviate the crisis symptoms.
In long-term therapy, methods include knowledge of techniques to systematically effect a wide array of short-term, intermediate-term, and long-term therapeutic gains.
In crisis case handling, methods include knowledge of time-limited brief therapy techniques used for immediate control and containment of the crisis trauma.
In long-term therapy, in the evaluation of results, the goal is behavioral validation of therapeutic outcomes in terms of the client's total functioning.
In crisis case handling, in the evaluation of results, the goal is behavioral validation by the client's return to pre-crisis level of equilibrium.
Students, please look at the chart at the top of page 77. In long-term therapy, preventing problems is more basic than cure. Use preventive procedures whenever possible.
In crisis case handling, define the problem. Clarify in concrete terms the issues that precipitated the crisis.
In long-term therapy, correct the etiological factors. This involves comprehensive treatment of broad-based psychological and environmental factors in both the past and present.
In crisis, the goal is to ensure client safety. You would assess client lethality and provide for the physical and psychological safety of the client and significant others.
In long-term therapy, a goal is to provide systematic support. This involves comprehensive measures directed toward improvement of the state of health of the individual.
In crisis case handling, a goal is to provide support. You need to establish conditions, by either the crisis worker or significant others, whereby the client feels secure and free of threat or abandonment.
In long-term therapy, the goal is to facilitate growth. Treatment should ideally facilitate, rather than interfere with natural environmental and developmental processes.
In crisis case handling, a goal is to examine alternatives. Provide options for alleviating the immediate situational threat in relation to the crisis.
In long-term therapy, a goal is to re-educate. Treatment seeks to re-educate and teach new models of adjustment for lifelong coping.
In crisis case handling, a goal is to develop a plan, formulate a stepwise procedure, using client coping skills, crisis worker expertise, and systemic measures to energize the client to take action.
In long-term therapy, a goal is to express and clarify emotional attitudes. Major emphasis is on methods of securing emotional release and expression in a permissive and accepting environment.
In crisis case handling, a goal is to obtain commitment, obtain agreement as to specific time, duration, and number of activities required to stabilize the client and/or crisis situation.
In long-term therapy, a goal is to resolve conflict and inconsistencies. Viewed from a psychoanalytic standpoint, therapy aims to help the client achieve insight into the causation and dynamic roots of the behavior. Another goal of long-term therapy is to accept reality. Help the client to accept what cannot be changed. Help the client to reorganize attitudes. Move the person toward exhibiting a more positive view of life. Help the client to maximize intellectual resources. Improve the functions of sensing, perceiving, remembering, communicating, thinking, and self-control.